Do you enjoy giving gifts? I, for one, love to do it, especially when it's a surprise and when it's one that I know is going to impact someone's life for the long term. Hi, everyone. My name is Yong, Pratt, Chief Dreamer and podcaster right here at Our Young Creators, and I want to welcome you back to another edition of the podcast. With the holidays literally right around the corner, or I guess we're in holiday season now, I've gotten so many emails about giving all sorts of gifts, and many of them I consider to be a bit frivolous. I mean, after all, how many toys can our kids really enjoy without losing interest? When my kids were little, I remember getting them a ton of different gifts, and we had a lot of friends and family who would give them really just toys. And after a while, the toys became more of a nuisance than anything good because they were getting left out all over the house and they really weren't getting enjoyed like they needed to be. So now when I think about gift giving, especially in the holiday season, we take a very minimalistic approach to giving gifts. We are not the family that spends thousands of dollars on gifts and stuffs everything under the tree to see our kids' faces on Christmas morning. We're the family who usually buys a bigger gift or a bigger something for the family, and then we do smaller things that many people would use as stocking stuffers. Hello, Tasha. Good to see you here. And before I go further, I do want to point out that this is day number 4 of our 100-day Facebook Live challenge. And it's technically, I guess, my 12th day in a row now of going live because I went live in the week before our challenge began as well. If you're ready to join us on the adventure, that is Tasha and I on the adventure, you're welcome to head over to bit.ly/100 days of FB Live and find out the gifts that are in store for you when you commit to doing something big, something scary, and to get out of your comfort zone. So let's get back to gift giving. I know that I've been to members of my family at their house at Christmas time, and I'm just amazed at the huge boxes and just how overflowing the Christmas tree and all the area is around it. Literally, if you came to my house today, you'd see very little under the Christmas tree. The girls really wanted to get some new lotions from Bath and Body Works, so they had a sale recently and we purchased a ton of them. And we put them under the tree because it's really for all of us to enjoy. My husband doesn't particularly like all the smells, but the girls and I certainly do. So they're just things that we enjoy and that we have as gifts for all of us for Christmas. What about you? Do you stuff gifts under your Christmas tree, or are you like we are and pretty minimalistic about it? If you're joining live or catching the replay, comment below and let me know what type of gift giver you are at the holidays. Now, when I think about gifts, I also really like to think about how this gift is going to help somebody in some capacity. For me, I love books. I buy a lot of books. We have a huge library in our house. And it's one of the things that if I'm at a bookstore, because we don't have one locally, if I go out of town, I will go into a bookstore and I can literally spend hours there. But I normally pick up a couple extra copies of books that I personally really love that I can give as gifts. And I don't necessarily give them just at Christmas time. For instance, if there's somebody who is local to me and we have a conversation and we start to hang out and I really think a particular idea or concept would really resonate with them, I will actually pull a book from my extra books and gift that. Not because I expect anything in return, but because I know that this book impacted my life in a positive way. And my hope is that when I pass it along to other people, they're going to get some sort of benefit from it as well. Now, for my daughter, my youngest daughter, Daphne, she also loves books. And literally, if we go out of town, she and I will go by ourselves to a bookstore usually, and we'll spend an entire afternoon there because we're just mesmerized by the smell of books and the way the books just fill the store. And we love to just look at all the possibilities of things to learn, the adventures to go on, the creativity that is sparked within those books. And that's one of our favorite things to do. My oldest daughter doesn't like to do that with us very much, so she normally will hang out at the hotel or with our friends if we're staying with friends and bypass that because she doesn't like that as much as my youngest. And that's okay. Everyone has their thing, right? Everyone gets lit up by different things. So for me, books are a big part of what I love to gift throughout the year. Now, since we are in holiday season, my girls will probably get some books for the Christmas holiday because they've both expressed some interest in a couple of them that have come out recently. And I can never say no to books. It's definitely a weakness of mine because I kind of am sort of a book hoarder. I love to collect books, and even if I don't read them right away, they may sit on my shelves for maybe years. But then one day I will be in the library and just pull a book randomly out, and it happens to be just the book that I need to read at that point in my life. So in that sense, the books that I purchase are gifts to myself, not just for today, but for the future. Tasha says, we used to stuff gifts under our tree. We're focusing more on giving that's needed, that can be used for a long time. And a gift is memorable. I agree. And I really can resonate with the idea of making something memorable. You know, we have some family friends who've done just this. They don't give a lot of big gifts under the tree, but they'll go create memories together by taking a trip. And the trip doesn't need to be exotic. It could be to the next town over. It could even be in your own town, but you go check into a hotel, maybe so you can use the pool and order room service. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but you're creating those memories with your family. And years from now, I can guarantee that your kids won't remember those little gifts. They'll forget them over time. What they will remember are the times that you spent together and the memories literally you created intentionally. And that's really what we're all about here at OYC, intention. And there's a lot of talk about kids these days, you know, really wasting time on their devices, looking at things, playing games, engaging with social media. And it's sort of a mindless activity, and parents are definitely starting to get worried about that. I know as a parent of a teen and a tween, I'm definitely worried about that. But what if there was a way to give your kids some memorable experiences and use those devices to create and capture your family memories? That is exactly what we do in Podcast in a Weekend. In this last round, we actually had a family go through the course, and I love being able to see not only the parent, but the kids join in on this adventure because that's truly what it is. It's an adventure. You're charting uncharted waters, and it's fun to do it together. I know when it comes to podcasting in particular, a lot of people tell me, you know, I'm not tech savvy. I mean, I'm doing good if I can turn my computer on. It's okay. because I can guarantee that your kids can do that plus a lot more, and probably more than we give them credit for, right? Because a lot of kids are using devices and tech in the classroom now, so they're learning skills that will definitely surpass some of the skills we may have. So if tech is your nemesis, bring your kids along on the adventure, because how cool is it for them that you can turn to them and say, I don't know how to do this. Will you show me? Or at the very minimum, will you do this with me so we can learn together? And that's what we truly believe in here, is that togetherness and bringing back family time. Everything we do here, from helping people to build their podcasts to other forms of marketing, that's really what we want. We want parents and kids to create memorable experiences together, side by side. And then when your kids have these skills, they can be like my kids and actually work for other business owners and help them share their message. And that's another gift as a parent, that if we are modeling for them and guiding them to understand that when you serve others, when you share your gifts and talents with others, whether or not we're being compensated, that's just a normal thing to do. So if we can couple the idea of serving others with the idea of being creators on our devices, and not just consuming a ton of information, but being a people who put things in the news feed other people can enjoy, and then you add on top of that and you tie it up with a pretty bow of being able to spend time together, truly bring back family time, and build memories that are going to last a lifetime. Last fall, when Daphne first started on this adventure with me, we were creating our very first webinar presentation. And, I gave her some of the text to go into it, and I let her really just run with it, because she was really excited to create the slideshow and added all the animations. And to be quite honest, I was literally blown away at what she created, because what I thought I was going to get back was nothing compared to what she created. What she created was so much better than I ever could have imagined. And the funny thing is, she put so much of her personality into this presentation. We were literally laughing going through it, because the whole thing is very punny. Very, very funny that it's punny. Yes, I get that. It was just so funny that we were just laughing, literally in our pajamas the night before our first webinar together. And we were just going through everything that she had created. And she looked at me and she said, "Mom, I think we should call these memories scrapbook-worthy memories." And I thought, out of the mouths of babes, right? Kids are so perceptive, and oftentimes as adults, we don't really think to ask our kids or to involve our kids in things like our businesses or our passions. We just do them ourselves or think it's better. But when she made that comment, I thought, oh my goodness, yes, that is exactly what we are doing here with teaching people how to podcast and teaching families how to podcast. We're creating those scrapbook-worthy memories where years from now, you can look back and you can watch those video versions of the podcast. You can listen to the audio versions. You can read the text versions of those and literally be transported back to that moment in time where you can hear their cute little voices. You can hear the excitement in everyone's voices. And I just think there's something so magical about what all this new technology has to offer to us. Are you on board with that? Are you ready to make some scrapbook-worthy memories with your kids? If so, I have something that I'm going to share with you next week. Actually, two things, two gifts I have put together for you that I'll reveal in the next week or so, right here on these live videos, as well as shared on our podcast. So before we wrap up, I would love to know, what is your favorite gift? If you could choose one thing that you could give to anybody on any day just to put a smile on their faces, what would that gift be? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to grab a sip of tea. So I shared earlier that for me, books are something that I just collect and I share them whenever I can because there's just something magical about giving something that's meaningful to you to somebody else. And it could literally take any form. It could be a handmade card. It could be a batch of cookies. It could be a handwritten letter. It really doesn't matter. Now that it's the holiday season, I think there's a really big emphasis on giving gifts, but I don't like to just give them at the holidays. I like to sprinkle them throughout the year and surprise the people that mean the most to me. I look forward to finding out what you love to gift and what gifting means to you. I will catch you all right back here tomorrow, my friends. Cheers.